The first thing that may be plaguing your forehand is that you are not turning your body as a unit. You are sending your arm on a lone mission, and you are forgetting that your body also needs to coil. The shoulders have to coil together, and the hips also have to turn. People a lot of the times do this, and they forget about the lower body, and sometimes they forget about everything. So what you want to do is use the non-hitting hand on the throat of the racket to fix your upper body and keep it all together, okay? Don't let go until the ball bounces. And with your toes, make sure that the hips turn as well, okay? It's got to be twisting like an HB pencil. And don't forget that you also got to turn the shoulders past the hips so we get this extra range of motion. The second most common mistake happens in the racket drop phase. What people don't realize, okay, common coaches, common players, and common people have common sense, is that, we have to put the racket in this position. But what we don't realize is that it's actually a relaxation, okay? We want to have swing efficiency, fluidity, and effortlessness that all advanced tennis players have. And they're holding the racket and they're having their arm with a tension of no more than 3 out of 10, okay? You gotta famoose the goose and stay loose. You don't wanna have all this built up tension and then force your arm to get here. No, no, no. We wanna feel like the racket head free falls into this closed position, which we call pat the dog, and we're just getting slightly under the height of the ball. That's it, okay? You don't want to feel like you're, boom, getting all tight in your arm, hyper flexing your arm, okay? It looks like that's what pros are doing, and the problem is that advanced tennis players often aren't very good teachers. Even if they're a coach who played high-level tennis, right? It's very hard for people to explain the tennis swing to someone else. And until this is pointed out to you, a lot of people are probably very tight in this part of the swing. This is stopping you from, getting easy, effortless power. So once you've turned and you've set yourself up for success, just feel like you relax. Now, in the next phase of the swing, okay, the next mistake that people usually make is sending their arm on a lone mission. And again, this plays into being tight and just really going with the arm. Your arm weighs about maybe 5% of your body weight max. Maybe a little bit more if you're in the gym doing curls for the girls, okay? Taking creatine, protein powder, pre-workout, like whatever the Instagram influencers are doing nowadays, okay? But instead of trying to, be Rambo on the court and just arm the ball, muscle it like Nadal, you want to feel like you're throwing your body first. We need the racket to come through as the last part of the kinetic chain in order to get swing efficiency. So when we fall and pat the dog, when we free fall, loose and relaxed, okay, we want to feel like we start the swing from the ground up. We're going to get our bigger muscles through. We're going to twist into it, pulling the non-hitting hand. We're going to get our entire body through, and then we're going to let the arm come through loose, okay? And that's all you need to do to have swing efficiency, okay, because this is only going to take you so far, okay? You got to clean things up and use your bigger muscles. Stop trying so much with your arm. The fourth thing that is preventing you from playing advanced level tennis is at contact points, you are flicking the ball. Maybe you're using your wrist to try and get topspin. What this is doing is causing you to have a flimsy and weak contact point, and it's the number one reason why people lack this desired sound, this pop that advanced tennis players have. You will never get it if you don't keep your wrist back at contact point. When we throw our body first, the racket will catch back in what we call the slot position. You can see there's a letter L here, and the butt cap is going towards the ball as a byproduct of my arm dragging loose behind me, right? We're not pointing the flashlight, okay? We're not Scooby-Doo looking for a ghost, right? We're gonna, boom, throw our body. This is just gonna happen naturally. It feels a lot different than it looks. So you don't want to focus on driving your butt cap towards the ball. It's just going to happen, and you really shouldn't pay too much attention to it, because if you take the action steps that I suggest, this will be the least of your issues. Now, at contact point, our wrist is back, and we want to feel like we're cracking through a glass window. You want to hit through the ball. You don't want to scrape it and brush up, and this is going to lead into the 5th most common mistake. But when we hit, you want to wait for the ball to leave our strings and then start to cover the top of the ball as it does, okay? But that's just a rule of thumb. Wrist back and firm at contact point. Still, you need to be loose in the arm. The 5th thing, the most common mistake on the forehand, is brushing up on the ball, especially with just the arm. Through contact point, if we've done the previous steps correctly, we should feel like we're hitting through the ball and we're covering the top of the ball and hitting through a glass wall rather than scraping up and brushing up. You want to get out of the habit of finishing very high on your forehand, and as a rule of thumb, you want to catch the racket around your shoulder. Some people catch the racket, some people don't. It's really just a byproduct of all the great things that we've done. But if you do catch it, it's helpful at first, okay? And if it's good enough for Federer to catch the racket, it's probably good enough for you as well. It forces you to swing through what I call the imaginary tabletop, where we swing across our body and we punch through a wall rather than scrape up, skim, brush, and frame it. We're gonna feel like we swing across a granite tabletop. We're gonna go, and at contact point, cover the top of the ball with the windshield wiper, but still go through the ball. With these action steps, you should really be able to improve your forehand. If you like what you learned here, I recommend taking the next step and going into my online course. You can get started by clicking the link down below. Thanks for tuning in, and use what you've learned to modernize your game. Tennis Doctor is a self-help tennis book for adults. You could have 40-inch biceps, rapid anticipation, fancy feet, and a brilliant mind, but if you have poor swing mechanics, you will never win. You can have slow reactions, terrible footwork, and be 40 pounds overweight, yet still make a good shot if you can produce a perfect swing. By reading Tennis Doctor, you own the secret to a perfect swing, and if we have to, we'll call you an Uber to get you to the ball in time. Read it now on Amazon.